All I root for is these giant killings. I love them, and we got served one up today. We've been close to a few this season, and then one happened today to Liverpool. It is what it is. Cool. We're going to bring Sia and Hussam on. Sia's going to speak first because Sia told me 3 days ago they are doing the quad. So he's going to have a chat with us now. Both on the show. Sia, welcome, gents. Sia, what happened to your quad, mate? Plymouth Argyle, stop your quad. You're on mute if you're trying to talk.
That is what it is, man. I mean, I had every right to make that claim because, you know, who would have predicted us losing to Plymouth? It was just a very shit performance. There's nothing more to say about that. But yeah, I mean, I'll hold my smoke because I can't, you know, give it the big end and not take it when I get it wrong. But yeah, today was just it was just a really shit performance, and Plymouth deserved to win. We just went up for it physically in any way. They bullied us basically, and yeah. But yeah, I don't think that I need to say much else, honestly.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think?
But hey, my treble prediction is still on.
Well, there's no treble now. The FA Cup's gone. You can't do a treble. It's impossible. So the question is...
No, we're still in the final. We're in the Champions League, and we're leading the Premier League.
That's not the treble. We don't talk about that.
I said a treble, not the treble. I said a treble, not the treble.
You can win 3 trophies. You can't do the treble. I want to ask you a question about Slot. Do you think a lot of people in the comments are stating that he was a bit arrogant today with the volume of rotations and such a weak bench? Do you agree with that?
Nah. I would very much disagree with that. He was well within his rights to rotate today. I mean, Plymouth are last in the championship, so why would you put out your strongest 11 against Plymouth? Like I said, who would have predicted us losing to Plymouth Argyle? I mean, we just had a really shit performance. Like, in certain individuals in the squad were really, really bad. Diaz, I think this is his worst performance I have ever seen him have since he joined Liverpool. Harvey Elliott made an actual point of having a stinker today. So rotating was not a bad thing. Slot, the only thing I would criticize Slot on is leaving certain players on for the whole game. I feel like we should have just taken a punt and brought Trent Doherty on earlier. He should have brought Ngumoha. Like, just throw on the youngsters, because honestly, Luis Diaz was a net negative today. Every time he got the ball, he either slowed it down, did fuck all, or just gave it away. Harvey Elliott tried doing a Mutombo like block in the box, which is, yeah, it was just one of those days, man. The only thing I'd put on Slot is taking too long with the subs. Otherwise, what else should he have done? I mean, if you look at the amount of minutes that our first team plays, rotating against Plymouth Argyle it's fair. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, listen, I understand. That's a fair challenge back to what people are saying, mate. It is now. I know you're at a family engagement, so I'll let you get on and do what you've got to do today. But I appreciate you calling in, especially after your big claims in the members group chat. But yeah, at least you had some balls to say what you think, mate. I appreciate that. We'll chat again soon. See ya. Cheers, mate. Thank you. I'm not sure if there's a delay there, but Hussam. I know you're having a very good season. You're top of the league, but potentially the biggest upset in Premier League era you've just suffered today in the FA Cup. Giant killings we're talking here. What went wrong? And break the game down and give us your thoughts after being knocked out by the Green Army.
You really are a fraud, Terry. You really are a fraud. First of all, because you have a green shirt on. You don't done this on purpose.
No,
Second of all,
it's for the Packers today. It's not the Packers, for the Eagles. That's all.
First of all, it's not the biggest upset, because 10 years ago, Bradford beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge 4-2, 14-15. They were in League 2 at the time. That's the biggest upset.
That's a fair shout. That's a fair shout.
Second thing is, I don't blame Slot at all. This game is not on Slot whatsoever. Plymouth are bottom of the championship. They are bottom of the championship. And if you can't trust the likes of Elliot, Diaz, and Chiesa to knock out Plymouth Argyle, then they can't be trusted till the end of the season. That's just the reality of the situation. This game is not on Slot. If I was in Slot's place, I would have rotated just as much. And there's a reason for that. After the Plymouth game, we have two games a week for about 3 weeks straight. And they're all tough games. We got to play Everton, we got to play City, we got to play, of course, the Carabao Cup final. We have Newcastle. They're all difficult fixtures. They're all like extremely difficult fixtures. And that's why I would have rotated just as much as Slot would have rotated today. Today's game is not on Slot for me. Today's game is on the players that he trusted to get the job done. The likes of Kwanzaa, the likes of Elliot, the likes of Diaz. I'm not even blaming the youth either, because young players, you know, they're still getting used to the game. They need time to develop. You know, they're not like levels like that. So obviously with the youth players, like I'm not blaming any of them. I'm blaming the experienced ones. Chiesa, Tsimikas, you know, these are the ones that didn't like play well. And for 70 minutes, that felt like a friendly, because Liverpool had no intensity whatsoever. Like Liverpool had zero intensity in that game. You know, we just were so like, we were so complacent. And then we decided to turn it up at the end, but it was too little too late. And to be honest with you, Plymouth deserve a lot of credit. That centre-back for them, Katic, put in the performance of his lifetime today. Their goalkeeper as well, some of the saves he had at the end, Hazard, was just unbelievable. Like, he had incredible saves. And they deserve to win. They deserve to beat us. I'm not fuming. I'm not raging. And it's not even about bigger fish to fry. It's good in life, Terry, to know your limits. Terry used to be in the English in the British team for boxing. He knows he can't step into a ring with Anthony Joshua now. You have to know your limits. This squad, this team, and Terry knows this, because I do keep the same energy. He knows this. I don't think this team is good enough to win a quadruple. I've never ever said quad ever in my life. I don't think with this team, this squad is good enough to win a quadruple. I don't think we have enough options to win a quadruple. And in reverse, Slot is like in a position where he can't win. If we play like, I'm not even talking about Mo. If we play like, I don't know, Gakpo and whoever today, Gakpo and Konate today, as an example, and one of them gets injured, we'll sit here and go like, this is the 4th round of the FA Cup. We have important fixtures left, blah, 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 blah. I would never, ever, ever say that, you know, this game is on Slot. I don't just blame the manager for the sake of it. The players let him down today. That's just the reality. And Plymouth deserve to win today's game. They put on an absolutely heroic performance. Well done to Plymouth, they deserved it. Well done to the players as well, they deserved it. Well done to the fans, because the fans were loud as hell as well. So congratulations to them. They absolutely deserve to win today's game. Absolutely deserve to win today's game, to be honest with you. And for me, I don't think that we need an FA Cup run right now. I know my limitations. I know my squad. I know my team. And we're not good enough to win a quadruple. We aren't. We're in a Carabao Cup final. We have a very difficult run coming up in the Premier League, and we have the Champions League starting in April. So we can't afford like to play all these games. I'm gonna be so honest with you. So I'm not that bothered. I'm just bothered because it's the bottom of the championship, and I'm annoyed at my players, not my manager at all.
Yeah. Just one thing to slightly correct you on: Bradford City were a League One team, not a League Two team, when they beat Chelsea. But I hear your point. For me, like I say, maybe, like I said, I did say it earlier, maybe not the biggest. Maybe the biggest. I think it's in that conversation and debate when Wigan knocked out Man City as an example. What I loved about this, and I know you're Liverpool fans, but what I loved about this giant killing is that, you know, Plymouth have never, like Bradford City, have been in the top flight of the game. They're a bigger club than Plymouth. They've never been in the top flight. They've never won the trophy. They've only been to the 5th round 5 times in 139 years. So from that perspective, it is absolutely gargantuan. If
Don't be wrong and strong, Harry.
I'm not being wrong and strong. If it isn't the biggest, because
they lost 4-2 at Stamford Bridge to a League One side with Mourinho's Chelsea, who won the league that year.
You haven't let me finish talking because you're in your emotions.
I'm not emotional at all.
If it's like I was trying to allude to, I'm very happy that this isn't being wrong and strong to say I'm happy to concede that it may not be the biggest, but it's certainly one of the biggest. I can't think of more than 2 or 3 that it could even be comparable to how big an upset this is. They're a team that's about to go back down to League One. They're around League One level. So that's where they're going to be next year, as an example. They've actually conceded more goals this season than any other team in the 4 divisions within England. They don't keep clean sheets, and they kept one today. That's why it's massive, and I think it deserves, from their perspective, such a big shout out and a massive accolade. Plus, it's huge for the FA Cup. But I hear what you're saying about knowing your limitations. By the way, I was never in Team GB for boxing; it was kickboxing, so I wouldn't have fought AJ anyway. And I think even now I could give him a rat knock and it'd be over. I wouldn't even be that silly. But I hear what you're saying there, mate, and I get the disappointment, but equally, I do agree with what you said about some of your players today. I thought I'm not really gonna pop at any of the proper youngsters, because I thought like there was a young lad in the middle that got booked, and
Nione.
I thought he had a fairly weak game, but he's 17 years of age, so I look at it and think fair play. Kwanzaa was the one for me. He's had a lot of first team experience. I thought he was horrendous. I thought Harvey Elliott was absolutely dreadful. I mean, we haven't mentioned it, but the penalty he gave away, Hassan, what's he doing for the penalty?
I think that was 100% a penalty. That was just unnecessary right there. And that's why I'm saying, you see earlier on when we're talking about the manager, that's why I'm saying I'm not looking at him at all. I'm just looking at some of the players because, as you said, look, the proper young ones, the ones who have like shirt number 98 at the back, I'm not going to blame you. Of course I'm not. But I'm talking about the ones that are supposed to deliver today, like the Elliott. And that was 100% a penalty. I have no complaints whatsoever. And, you know, his overall performance was shit as well. Like some of the passes he put today were crap. Some of the crosses were crap. And he's supposed to be that like number 10 that provides that spark of creativity. And he just didn't provide it at all, to be honest with you. That's why I'm saying I'm not coming here saying anything negative about Plymouth, because they deserve to win. Like they fully deserve to win, to be honest with you.
Sorry, I just saw the goal that Spurs conceded. Kinksky, man. That guy.
I was going to say, Terry, that Aston Villa have scored early, boy.
Yeah, I thought their game was kicking off at 5:45. So I was like, what do you mean it's happening? It's obviously 5:35. I hear that.